Join me as I dive deep into the gritty world of New York's gangs and try to expose their secrets. New York City, the city that never sleeps, is a melting pot of cultures, diversity, and opportunity. But it's also a city with a dark underbelly, where the presence of gangs has been a reality for over a century. From the early days of the Bowery Boys to the modern-day Latin Kings, gangs have played a significant role in shaping the city's culture, crime rates, and social fabric. In this video, we're going to delve into the world of New York's gangs, explore their history, and reveal the hidden truth behind their influence. Violence, drug trafficking, and social issues. These are just a few of the many challenges that communities in New York face due to gang activities. Neighborhoods that were once thriving are now plagued by crime and fear, as gangs battle for territory and control. Residents live in constant anxiety, wondering when the next shooting or altercation will occur. The impact of gangs on the community is devastating, with innocent lives lost and families torn apart. Gang violence is not just a symptom of a larger social problem, it's also a major contributor to it. When gangs are allowed to thrive, they create a culture of fear and intimidation, where witnesses are too afraid to come forward and testify. This atmosphere of fear only serves to embolden gangs, making them more brazen and ruthless in their criminal activities. But what drives young people to join gangs in the first place? Is it a search for identity, a desire for belonging, or a need for protection? The answers are complex and multifaceted, but one thing is clear: gang membership is often a symptom of deeper social and economic issues that need to be addressed. Until we tackle these underlying problems, we'll continue to see gangs flourish in New York's neighborhoods. The fight against gangs is a fight for the very soul of our city. It requires a concerted effort from law enforcement, community leaders, and residents themselves. We need to work together to create opportunities for young people, to provide them with alternatives to gang life, and to support families and communities that are struggling to cope with the fallout of gang violence. The 5 Points Gang, led by the notorious Paul Kelly, was one of the first and most influential gangs in New York's history. Formed in the late 19th century, the gang dominated the city's Lower East Side, controlling everything from prostitution to extortion. But Kelly's reign was eventually brought to an end by a rival gang, the Camorra, who assassinated him in 1908. The 1950s and 60s saw the rise of the Latin Kings, a gang that originated in Chicago but soon spread to New York. With their distinctive yellow and black regalia, the Latin Kings became a symbol of power and authority on the city's streets. But their reign was marked by violence and bloodshed as they battled rival gangs for control of the city's drug trade. In the 1970s and 80s, New York's gang landscape underwent a significant shift as the rise of crack cocaine led to an explosion of violent gang activity. Neighborhoods like the South Bronx and Harlem became battlegrounds as rival gangs fought for control of the lucrative drug trade. This was also a period of heightened police activity, as law enforcement began to crack down on gang violence and drug trafficking. One critical moment in the history of New York gangs came in the 1990s, when Mayor Rudy Giuliani launched his broken windows policy. This approach, which focused on zero-tolerance policing and community engagement, helped to reduce crime rates and drive gangs out of public view. But critics argued that the policy simply pushed gangs into more hidden underground spaces where they continued to thrive. In conclusion, the story of New York's gangs is a complex and multifaceted one, full of twists and turns, violence, and tragedy. From the earliest days of the 5 Points Gang to the modern-day Latin Kings, gangs have played a significant role in shaping the city's culture and crime rates. As we move forward, it's clear that we need to continue the fight against gangs, to work towards creating safer, more supportive communities, and to address the underlying social and economic issues that drive young people to join gangs in the first place. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts about gangs in New York in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about crime and urban culture, be sure to check out my other videos on the topic.